Hey everyone. Hold on, because might be a little too loud. Okay, so there we go. So I'm just coming in here to do a little chit chat, like while we go get our one portion of our IVF meds. And like I just want to do like a small recap, like reiterate on like a few things. So first and foremost, we are officially starting Stims next week. That is the first part. So I do have to go to the pharmacy right now and get the first half of my IVF meds, and I do have to go on Monday and get the second portion of my IVF meds, and then the third portion will be mailed to me by my doctor's office. So yes, I know it is a lot, but nevertheless, that is something that we are driving on right now. And just basically just I'm trying to survive right now. So the first portion of my meds is going to be estradiol. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right and I'm not botching it. So I got prescribed estradiol 3 times a day, 2 milligrams, and that is a pill. I also got prescribed 𝚘𝚘. It's 250 milligrams of testosterone. I believe it's twice a day. And the last medication as of right now, it is testosterone, and that is 12.5 milligrams once a day, according to the instructions that I received so far. Once a day, and that is going to be a shot in my upper arm. Now, mind you, all of these shots and all of these medications are subject to change based on how are my follicles developing and how I am processing the treatment or whatnot. So, you know, this is all subject to change. Now, on top of all of those medications, I am already on prenatals 3 times a day. I am also taking CoQ10. I believe it's 200 milligrams. So I'm taking 400 milligrams of CoQ10 twice a day. And I am also taking 25 milligrams of DHEA once a day. And this is all based on what my doctor wants me to be on. And then on top of that, you also know that I take a monthly shot of B12, and I also take calcium twice a day, and then my multivitamins twice a day due to my gastric sleeve surgery. So it is a lot. And honestly speaking, the DHEA and the CoQ10 mix, it is really putting me into high gear. My hormones, as of right now, they are all over the place, and I am currently a hot mess. It really depends on the day and how I am feeling when I wake up that day. Specifically, today in the morning, I am not even going to lie, it's currently 2:30 in the afternoon, and today in the morning, it was not a good day. I felt like I was going to faint. My body is not used to taking so many medications at once. And I also take vitamins for fiber and an additional supplement for like energy, because my energy levels they're extremely low since I had my gastric sleeve done. So in total, I am currently taking about 10 pills per day, and starting next week, that is going to increment even more. But like I said, As of right now, my main focus is on the CoQ10 and the DHEA. Those two together are, at least for me right now, they're not being a good combination because I am having a really rough time. I almost fainted twice in the past week, and my hormones, they are just all over the place. 1 minute I'm laughing, 1 minute I'm crying, and I know this is not even the start of it. I know for a fact that starting next week, once I start on all of the shots, it is going to get even worse. So I am really hoping that it's not as bad as I've seen a lot of people say. And also, one thing that I am fearing a lot, it is being, or like, once you do your stims, once you get your egg retrieval done, there's something, it's something called a hormonal crash. And as of right now, I am currently terrified of that, because yes, I feel like I am going to go through all of that because of how much hormones I am putting into my body, especially knowing that I only have one ovary, and I am just overworking that ovary over time right now, so that we can go ahead and increment and have as many possible follicles as we can. As of right now, we are looking at stims within the next week, starting next week, and then after that we are looking at probably 10 to 15 days of shots and all that good stuff, so that we can do our egg retrieval, and then, you know, we will have fertilization and maturing and cytoblast. My husband and I have decided not to do PGT testing on our embryos, so that is something that is going to be off the table. I have read a lot of mixed reviews when it comes down to the PGT testing, and a lot of people choose not to do it because of monetary decisions. That was something that my insurance definitely, they did not cover. They said that that was not medically needed, and part of our decision on not testing was because, number one, the price for PGT testing in our clinic, it is a little bit on the high end, and my husband and I, we have 2 biological children together, and we do not feel the need to get that test done. So fingers crossed for a healthy embryo, a healthy baby, without having to get any of those tests done. And the other thing that got us into not doing the testing was that many people have said that getting their embryos tested has caused them to lose or have a miscarriage on their pregnancy. So okay, I just got to the pharmacy. Let me go ahead and get my meds. Yes. Thank you, you too. Okay, and I'm back. So I'm currently putting my card back in my wallet and just looking at my receipt. And so I got 90 pills So for the next 30 days. So let's go ahead and go home now because I am currently having a crappy day. So but last thing I want to talk about is the transfer. So as I said, we have Stims starting next week, and then it's about 10 to 14 days on Stims, and then 3 days later will be retrieval, or 36 hours later it will be retrieval once we get our trigger shot, which we also still have to order that, and also then PGT testing, all of that, and then we will be doing a frozen embryo transfer. Originally that was something that I didn't have in mind. However, perhaps I should have done a little bit more research. I did find out that our doctor does not do fresh embryo transfers, so we do have to, I guess, comply with her clinic if we want to do I guess the IVF. But which again, I'm not opposed to doing the fresh embryo transfer. It just means that we will have to wait until the next cycle, which is in September, to do the transfer. So yeah, that is a lot. But after talking to my husband and I, we were set on, before finding out that we were not going to be able to do, and before we decided not to do the PGT testing, we had said that we wanted to get, or not get, because that sounds like I am buying something, and I am not buying this baby, but that we wanted to have the embryo transfer. We wanted to have, it was a boy, but after talking to him and just chit-chatting away, we are leaning towards not knowing the sex of our baby until it is basically born. Is that crazy? Yes it is, because that means that we wouldn't be able to buy any clothes at all. That means that we wouldn't be able to decorate the nursery or the crib or whatever, which, by the way, we are not doing a nursery. We are not doing a full-on nursery. Our room is extremely big, and we are going to just redo our room to where half of our room becomes the nursery, and then the other half our room. Mind you, I know that a lot of people have mixed feelings about this, but I have 3 additional kids, and the last thing that I need is to have my baby on a completely different room than myself, and then have the baby wake up its siblings in the middle of the night when they go to school. Mind you, yes, all of my other kids go to school, and school is starting back up on Monday, so that is something that I do not wish, because yes, I know that it wouldn't affect them this school year, but the upcoming school year it will affect them, because if everything goes according to plan, I will have a brand new baby by the time that next school year comes around. So that's one thing that I'm not planning on doing. And obviously we are still having a lot of mixed feelings whether or not we should know the sex, because it does imply a lot of things, but we're still deciding. We do have a couple of months. I mean, at this point we haven't even done the egg retrieval, and we have about probably a month and a half before we are even able to do the transfer. So go figure. And lastly, and this will be my last topic, and then I would just wrap it up in here. It is, like I said in one of my previous blogs, and I am going to reiterate on this and just put it out there: do not plan your life around IVF, because the timelines suck. And I mean, they literally suck, because you need to realize that the IVF process, and when I mean the IVF process, so that you get an idea, I don't mean from when like you meet the doctor and then you get the transfer and the baby input in you. Okay, I don't mean that at all, by any means. Mind you, we met for the first time with our clinic on June 2nd. It is currently August 9, and we are only getting ready to start on Stims. So it's been 2 months. Stims is going to be about probably 10 days before we start Stims, which is when I have my next cycle schedule, or when is my next schedule supposed cycle. I shouldn't say schedule. When is my next expected cycle? That's the actual word. So that's another 10 days, meaning that we will be already 2.5 months deep in. Again, Stims is anywhere from 10 to 15 days. So we are looking at an egg retrieval in the beginning of September and to an egg transfer in the beginning of October. So that will mean that by October, it will have been a whole 4 months, or probably a little bit more, depending on when we get our transfer date. Because remember, in order for you to do your transfer, your cycle needs to run, and then you need to be on your fertile window. So meaning that you need to wait for your ovulation time in October. So that means that we are probably looking at sometime in the middle of October for a transfer, meaning that by that time it will be almost 5 months that we have been in this process. And that was not the idea that I had at all, because for some odd reason, I don't know why, I thought that it was just you go in on that first day, you talk to the doctor, you let them know when your next cycle is, they give you all the meds, and then they schedule your retrieval, and then they schedule your transfer, and you boom, you're pregnant within a month and a half. That is not the case. That is not the case. I had a friend of mine personally, she went through IVF, and she went through the IVF process about 3 times, and it took her, I want to probably say it took her anywhere between 3 to 4 years to even get pregnant. And we are not even talking about the fact that yes, she did only 3 or 4 cycles. It is about the fact that is how much money she spent, because she did all of the spending out of pocket. So do not get fooled by IVF and oh my god, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this done and I'll be pregnant within a month, because it's not gonna happen, trust me. And remember, this is very important, and I guess this is the most important thing, and a lot of people do not say that IVF is not a guarantee that you will end up with a baby. It is a chance at maybe getting to carry a baby. And when I say I mean just a chance, I don't even mean like, oh my god, once they put the embryo in, I'm gonna carry this baby to full term. You need to realize the following: IVF is just a possibility of carrying a baby full term. That being said, that means that if your body does not accept the baby, or if they reject the embryo, you more likely will end up having a miscarriage, and I've seen it happen. Again, I cannot speak from experience. This is my first IVF cycle, and I am really hoping that we get pregnant on the first one. My husband and I have talked, and we will be just doing maximum 4 cycles. That is the maximum that we will do. You gotta realize IVF, it is very expensive, even with insurance. As of right now, for all of our cycle fees, all of our anesthesia, my husband's extraction fees for his microtesty, and so far with medication, and his Cypro, I do not remember the name. I know it's for freezing his sperm. We are currently out about $7,000, and that is with insurance. So that being said, take your time, make sure that you do your research way beforehand, and that you are not only financially prepared but also mentally prepared, because IVF will drain you a lot, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. IVF is hard. IVF will take a turn on you, and it will drain you, not only mentally, financially, but also physically. So I'm going to wrap up today's chit chat, because I feel like I am just, at this point, I'm just repeating myself, and I feel that I am becoming a little bit overwhelmed, and I want to start crying, and I'm not gonna let that happen, because I just got more hormones, so yay for me. So with that said, please, all of my IVF girlies out there, take care. Just be smart, I guess that was the way to put it. Have patience, and as usual, I will see you guys on the next one. I will try to do another vlog probably sometime next week, Monday or Tuesday, as the kids go back to school, and I do have to go to the clinic to get all of my meds, or the remainder of my meds, and I will make another update. So I will see you guys later. Bye.